10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, this is Pyori from Movin. Thank God. Thank you so much for an incredible 1 year. It's been 3 years since we started our business, and it's been 1 year right after the first launch of our second generation of Movin Tracin. And today, to celebrate Movin Tracin's 1-year-old birthday, we prepared this all live shows. So this is a timetable. The first half, 45 minutes, will be our own, and the rest of 45 minutes will be from our wonderful, fantastic 3 experts who utilize Movin Tracin a lot in their fields. So please be there till the end. Today's highlight. There are 3 things you need to focus on for today's show. The first thing is the promotion information. I bet and I believe the price we will open today will be the lowest price ever. So please stay tuned. You need to get the promo code. And the second thing is, today, during our live shows, we will showcase our latest Movin Studio version 3.0. You can see the whole new features and the improved features of Movin Studio. And finally, as I already mentioned, there are 3 wonderful experts, specialists from all around the world are waiting. So let me introduce 3 of them one by one. So Harvey Newman, he is an expert in game and animation. The second person speaker will be Sean Herrod. He is a founder from Forms Volume from LA. And finally, Richard Thompson, the professor from New Jersey Institute of Technology. He is waiting for you all. So please stay tuned. Movin Tracin. Yeah, the world changing so fast, and so is Movin's technology. Especially today, I want to highlight Movin Studio, the version number 3. It's already out, so lots of our users and our early access users already use Movin Studio version number 3, and we've already got lots of amazing feedbacks from there. Actually, the biggest improvement on this Movin Studio version number 3 is the improvement on motion quality. Thanks to our updated AI model, before that, we only used LiDAR sensors to track your full body. But with this Movin Studio version number 3, we integrate LiDAR and camera together to get the fine details of motion very, very well. So we will show you how it works later on. And we also add some most requested features in our Movin Studio version number 3, so that's the reason why we've got lots of great applause from our users. And let me also share what's happening outside these days to Movin and Movin Tracin. You know what? Robots looks like a human. So Movin Tracin is now even used as a tool to get lots of motion data to train humanoids. So we will also show you some demos of our robotics during our today's demo. And last month, in August, during Secret Week in LA, thanks to these guys in Movin had a wonderful live event in Los Angeles. Thank you so much for our clients, potential clients, partners, and creators. They were all there, and we showcased our 3 different products there. That 3 different products include our existing product, but also our upcoming products. We were so excited about that live event, so we are preparing one another within this year. So please stay tuned. And finally, let the Movin tracing stage is already out. So today I also want to show you how it looks like from my camera in front of me. It looks like this. So this moving tracing stage is made with a LiDAR sensor. And this is, you can simply say that this is the multi-version of moving tracing. But as the name called, moving tracing stage, that means that it's not for capturing accurate human motion. It's more for live show clients. So you can extend multiple units of this moving tracing stage on the live stage, even in outdoors, and then we can track multiple people in larger space. So we already have clients with this product, so super amazing project will be open pretty soon. Okay, I think that's it for our updates these days. Let's keep carry on to show you the promotion details. Actually, this is the most important part of today's live show. Normally, moving tracing itself is $11K, and for the license, it's a bit high, right? $300 per month. But for this 1-year anniversary promotion, we'd like to offer you $9K for commercial clients. And for the move-in studio, we'd like to offer $150 per month for our commercial clients. And for those of you individual clients, for individuals, we'd like to offer $6K for move-in tracing and $100 per month for move-in studio license. So the promotion is already online on our website, but you need to remember the promo code over there. So please take a screenshot or please memo it. Then you can access the real promotion price from our website. Okay, now that's it for the information part, the most boring part. And from now on, let me show you how the latest move-in studio looks like. Let's go to see the demo. This is moving tracing, still pretty small and pretty light. It's 3 kilograms. And this is the front part of moving tracing that has one LiDAR sensor on top of it and one camera sensor right below it. And between them, there's one green light in the middle of those two sensors. And these green lights means the connections between your device and your computer. So if it looks like this, like stable green light, that means that the connection between your device and your computer goes well. But if the green light's blinking, that means that something's happened. So you need to figure that out. And when we go to see the backside of move-in tracing, you will see there are 2 cables out there. So this one is power cable, and the other is LAN cable. And this LAN cable is directly connected to your laptop. One fun fact is, move-in tracing already has NVIDIA Jetson board inside, which means that all these AI processings and everything are happening in local, so we do not use your computer's resources at all. And move-in tracing can even powered by really small portable battery. That means that this is easy to carry. You can just bring it outside. You can use it without the internet. So that's the reason why these days humanoid robotics field utilize this one to capture real humans data set. Okay, so I think the power's on and the LAN cable is right now connected to our laptop. So then let's go to see how to connect device. Yep, this is Move-in Studio version number 3. Here comes our first new features called plug and play feature. So you don't have to worry about how to connect moving tracing to your laptop. Just click that check connection buttons. Then it will automatically let you connect your moving tracing to your laptop. Yep, you will see there's gotcha buttons coming out. Okay, and then this is the very first step before you start your motion capture. This space, we want you guys to check your motion capture environment. One thing that you need to keep in mind is there shouldn't be any lighting sources behind you. Since this version, we use LiDAR and camera together, the lighting conditions is a little bit important than before. So this camera setup stage, you need to check whether there's any lighting sources interrupt my finger trackings. So this is my right fingers and this is my left fingers. I think there's none of it behind me, so let's go to the next. Before that, we have one another mode called dark mode, which means that if you want to utilize moving tracing outdoor or even in night, if there's no lights at all to track your, to see your body movements or fingers, in that case, just click that dark mode. Then we will only use LiDAR sensors to track your full body. We do not use camera in this dark mode. Okay, but today we have lots of light here, so let's keep carrying on with this light mode. And then this is the main setup stage. We called it calibration, calibrate the motion capture zone state. Here you will see red and yellow point clouds data over there, and that's LiDAR's raw data. So the only thing that you need to do here is align the space. And you will see there's two boxes on the top of the movement studio. That's the front view of this whole scene and the side view of this whole scene. So you need to just click the buttons on the right side to make it align, make it plain. So when you see the upper box, both box, you will see gray guidelines are there. So you need to move your yellow ground point clouds as close as possible to that gray guideline. And after you fit into that like that, then you will see my zone is filled with perfect yellow, green color point clouds. And you can also resize your motion capture area. So the maximum range that we can cover is 5 meters by 5 meters. It's about 16 feet per 60 feet size. And the smallest range that you can capture your motion with moving tracing is 1 meter by 1 meter, which is 3.3 feet per 3.3 feet. Okay, so today we have tons of space here. So let's do motion capture with 16 feet, 16 feet. Okay, I think it's all set up, and then I need to get out of the zone to complete the calibration. And then, actually, this is it for the device setup. So now you can start motion capture. But the first thing that you need to do before you do a motion capture is calibrate your full body. You know, normally marker-based motion captures and lots of AI-based motion captures need some specific process to do some calibration, but ours only take 3 seconds. So if I click the calibrate buttons and step into the center and do a pose, show your full body to our device, and then we automatically, our AI model, help you guys calibrate your full body really fast. And shall we named my calibration information as my name, Pyori? Great, thank you. And here comes our second new features. These features was made because of lots of users requested us about this feature. It called, what is it called? Quick start features. So whenever you get out of the zone and then return to the zone, you don't have to worry about recalibrate or something. We automatically find your calibration data and then we let you start motion capture right ahead. And from now on, let me show you the biggest part. Maybe you guys are super interested about this part. We want to show you how our motion quality improved. So I'm not a good dancer, so today we brought really a great dancer here in South Korea. So let's give a big applause to Dahyeon. Yep, right now Dahyeon is inside the John, but here there's one trouble. Right now Dahyeon is wearing my calibration data, right? So Dahyeon need to recalibrate, right? So Dahyeon already do a pose, so let's click it and do calibration once again. Okay, stand in the center, okay. And now it seems that Dahyeon got her perfect calibration data, okay. Dahyeon, could you please show us lots of different motions? Yep, from neck movement. Yep, Dahyeon, could you please step a little bit closer? Yep, sure, thank you. So our last version, that was our limitation. We cannot handle shoulders, neck, spine, and pelvis. We cannot handle these kinds of subtle motions really well. But thanks to camera's RGB data, right now we can handle those subtle and detailed motions pretty well. Look how gorgeous our motion looks like, right? Right now she has nothing on her body, it's markerless. And look at the latency, it's 0.1 second. And look at the hands, fingers quality. Yep. Dahyeon, could you please count it to 1 through 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great, thank you. And can you also show us some extreme motion? Yeah, sure. Like acrobatic motion like this kinds of motion works. And could you bend your knee a little bit? Great. Actually, a few months ago, we cannot even do these kinds of motion that much, right? And Dahyeon, could you please show us some sitting pose as well? When you sit down, and could you please show us? Yep, it's getting super stable, right? Normally, actually, we suffer from a lot of jittering issues a few months ago, but now it doesn't. Thank you. Okay. And actually, she is a dancer. So why don't we ask her for a great dance? Are you ready? Okay. Music start. Music, please. Is it coming? Woo!
Hey!
Thank you. Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dahyeon. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I don't have to do some dance or do some acrobatic motion because I'm not a good dancer. I cannot move my body that much well, but always I was the one who should do the demo. So I was always so super pressured about what should I do or something. But thanks again, Dahyeon, for showing us great movements. Okay, then let's keep carrying on to show some other features as well. Right now, I think I've got Dahyeon's calibration information. So could you please change mine? Yep, good. And here comes, I think I should introduce one another new features that lots of our users requested a lot. We called it object removal features. So normally, let me bring some chairs with me. Normally, moving tracing cannot handle objects with humans that much. Right now, you will see that my legs are keep flipping and don't know which one is humans, which one is chairs, don't know why, what happened to this AI model. This was a limitation of moving tracing. But now we have objects removal feature. Could you please, turn it on. And now it's converting. Yep, we'll see. Now our AI model can understand which one is human and which one is the objects. Yep. So let me bring another objects with me to show you guys how it works well. So now I'm on a chair with a big guitar on my hand. I don't know how to play guitar, but you will see that it's working pretty well. Actually, this features was most requested features from our VTubers users. They always ask us that, I want to play some guitar, I want to play some piano, I want to help hold mic with me, or I want to do my streaming for about 2 to 3 hours sitting on my chair. So that was the main reason why we developed these features. And now it's on. And right now, you can utilize moving tracing even in your small bedroom or in your office while sitting on your chair. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and then let's carry on to show our other features. And of course, it's motion capture, so we can record and play our full body motion. So there's a red buttons on the bottom of the screen. So could you please click it to start recording my motion? Okay, I'm recording my motion. I'm pretty good at doing some sports, right? Yep, and if I pause it, and we can replay it inside Moving Studio app. Yep, there's one motion files that I recorded. Yep, and we have pretty simple motion editing features already, but this is pretty simple. It's like just speeding up the motion, and also we can trim the motion. This is pretty easy features, right? So that's why we are preparing to make it upgrade this motion editing features. So within 3 to 4 months, I think maybe this winter, we will update our motion editing features. So there comes some motion graphing features, so you can edit your motion really, really in details. And we also have some other feature called create retargeted clips, which means that if you already have your own FVX file imported in our software, then you can you can automatically retarget this recorded motion to your characters. Like this. Yeah, so this is the motion that I recorded a few minutes ago, and now it's retargeted to a cute mouse character, and also to a Mixamo character like this. Okay, then shall we go back to mocap stage? Yep, and there are tons of features that we need to explain you guys, but the next thing would be the retargeting features. Actually, retargeting features made by Movin is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's even similar with Unreal Engine's retargeting features, but lots of people don't know about that features. So today, Sam is preparing really a great examples how to utilize retargeting features. So let's import one example character. It's pirate character. This pirate character is one-legged. Yep. It seems there might be some troubles happening on that toe part. I think we need to figure out what's happening. And also, look at this fingers. This is actually well-known troubles happening with when you retarget motion data to lots of this kind of characters. Okay, let's go to retargeting setting to fix these things. Here, the very first thing that we need to check is let's check the toe part first. One leg, Yeah, it seems that the toe length is too short on the left, on the pirate character's left leg. So I think we don't need that joints, right? So let's remove the toe joints over there. And okay, and then shall we go to the fingers part? Yeah, the rest pose of the hands looks pretty weird. So we need to retarget some part of the thumb joints. Yep, that would be great. And don't forget to turn on the mirror features on the top. So if you just retarget one hand, then the other hands is automatically retargeted. You don't have to worry about the other hands. Okay, I think Sam is good. So save the changes. Yep, it seems that the other part goes pretty well. And then shall we check some other aspects of our fingers? So can we make it grasp? Yep. I think this character's finger length is a little bit weird. So can we also change the length of those each fingers? Yeah, we do have length correction features as well. So you can change the length of each fingers like this. Okay, good. Let's save it. And then shall we go back to the motion capture stage to see the real-time retargeting features looks like? Yep, the finger looks okay. Yeah, the thumb was the main problems, but it fixed. Yep, and what about the legs? Yep. The legs movements, the foot contact looks pretty good. Yep, so this is one quick example how to utilize Movin's retargeting features. Okay, and shall we move to, it's already 27 minutes past, so shall we move to the streaming features? Actually, Movin tracing is pretty powerful tool to do for real-time motion capture. So the streaming features are super powerful features among Movin Studio's various different types of features. So we support many different types of platforms. So from Unity, Unreal Engine, Blender, what else? Notch, TouchDesigner, Warudo, VRChat, and OSC. So today we prepared 3 different platforms integration demo. The first thing is Unreal Engine. So we can live stream our full body only. We can also live stream full body with fingers as well. And we can also live stream character retargeted motion to Unreal Engine. That's also possible. And we already have Unreal Engine Live Link based plugin, so you can easily install from your Unreal Engine projects. And the movements, the motion data captured from movement tracing is directly live streamed to your Unreal Engine projects. And you can retarget your character from our software, and then you can live stream the retargeted motion to your Unreal Engine. That's also possible. And you can just live stream Movin, the default motion data to Unreal Engine, and then you can retarget from Unreal Engine. That's also possible. So it depends on you. Okay, and shall we move to our next integration demo, which is Notch integration. Notch is actually really a powerful engine usually used for live show content, live interactive kind of contents. So we already have Movin motion node and Movin point clouds nodes in Notch. So you will see that right now motion and also point clouds is live streaming directly to Notch, right? Okay, and shall we quickly move to our TouchDesigner integration demo as well. TouchDesigner is also a well-known platform and engine who want to utilize and who want to make interactive meteors or interactive live contents. So as you will see, the motion and point clouds are live streaming directly to Touch. And also, Touch, Notch, Unreal Engine, Unity, whatever, we can also live stream the retargeted motion directly to those all platforms. So shall we also show them? Yep, right now you will see the characters retargeted movements is right now live streaming to TouchDesigner as well. And there's no additional latency at all. Okay, I think that's it for the streaming pipeline demos. Okay, did I miss something? Did I do all? Good. Okay, so I think that's it for the Movin Studio live demo. And from now on, we will move to show you how Movin tracing being used in robotics industry. While our members make up the room, these days, robot looks like a human. So lots of humanoids industry evolving a lot. And thanks to humanoids market, motion data is becoming the new battleground for humanoids and physical AI. So today we prepare two different kinds of demo. The first demo is Movin tracing as a tool for real-time humanoids operation, the teleoperation tool. So right now you can see a video showing that NVIDIA physical AI team is doing a teleoperation with VR devices. But with Movin tracing, you don't have to worry about wearing markers or holding something on your hands. Just put Movin tracing indoor or outdoor. You can capture your full body motion in real time, and you can live stream those motion data directly to your robotics simulating platforms right ahead. There's no additional latency. So right now we support Isaac Sim, Mujoko, and ROS, which is the top 3 well-known platforms usually used for robotics. And our second demo is Movin tracing is super portable, and as I mentioned, it didn't even use lots of powers. So you can use this one even on outdoor, like in the rear hospital scenarios, in hotel, in school, or in an office. You can just put it and install it within 3 minutes, and then you can capture the movements like this. So the video is showing you how we captured physical real human demo in a real world scenario. So then let's go to see our first demo. Yep, so here comes DK. He's our CTO. Yep, so DK is wearing nothing on his body. And right now, his full body is capturing through Movin tracing. And one fun thing is, he is holding MetaQuest on his neck. That's because of accurate hands movement capture. Because Movin tracing is outside of the zone, which means that we can get the exocentric view of your full body, so we can easily get full body motion pretty well. But for the egocentric view hands motion, we do have limitation. So get rid of that limitation, we developed to integrate MetaQuest with Movin tracing, so we can get detailed hands motion from MetaQuest, and we can get full body, really stable full body motion from Movin tracing. And the screen that we are sharing right now is showing how Movin tracing's full body plus MetaQuest hands movements live stream directly to Isaac Sim, NVIDIA's Isaac Sim. So we don't have physical robots here, but rather than that, we want to show you guys how Movin tracing is being used as a tool to do some teleoperation tasks. I think the first demo is done. And the next demo is real world, real scenario data capture demo. So here today we prepared a office kind of scenario, and right now Movin tracing is located over there. So even though there's lots of different kinds of objects there, and let's just think that there's lots of people around me. You guys saw that object removal features before, right? we can still capture human motion data pretty well, even with we've been surrounded by lots of different objects. So think of me as a cleaning girl. Yep. This is my office, and I clean my office pretty often. So even though I'm holding something on my hands, and if I'm surrounding with lots of objects, you will see that my movements are captured pretty well, right? And shall we change the angle of the movement tracing to get another motion data? Yep, so right now movement tracing is facing back side of my office area. And here you can keep keep acquiring motion data with one single movement tracing. And right now, the fun thing is, could you please zoom in his hands? Right now, movement tracing is connecting with one small portable battery. So it's even working with that small portable battery. Okay, and let me keep cleaning my desks. So even though I have nothing on my body and I don't even hold MetaQuest on me, but still we can capture full body motion and finger motion pretty well. And this is how movement tracing is being used in lots of different real world scenarios to capture real humans' data to train humanoids. So movement tracing is evolving so fast, and we are keep seeking for our next market, and we are always focused on and work really hard to expand our territory to new market. So this is it for our live demo for today. And I think it's about 36 minutes past. So if you guys have any questions, we are here to answer your question in real time. Yep, and after that, after our demo, there are 3 amazing specialists from 3 different industries are waiting for you guys. So please stay there. Okay, here comes one question. How does Movin handle foot sliding compared to other systems? Yep, that's a great question. And since movement tracing is a AI-based motion capture, from the raw data coming from LiDAR sensor and image sensor, our AI model actually post-processed the movements, the motion data, when we first got out from the AI model. So that's the reason why our AI model already learned how to get the smooth and stable foot contact information. So because it's AI-based model, we are pretty good at foot contact. That could be a reply for your first question. And if there's any more, can I use movement tracing outdoors? What about very low or strong lighting conditions? Yes, you can. Actually, these 2 demos are the great examples how to utilize movement tracing outdoors. Since it's made with LiDAR sensor, and the LiDAR sensor that we are using is a LiDAR sensor usually used for autonomous driving car. That means that, think of a car. Cars should be out there even in midnight or even in the dark, even in down, even with lots of rain, even with lots of snow. That means that our systems can even work with those kinds of terrible situation. And I already show you guys the dark mode in our app, which means that this can even be used without lights. Yep. And what about low and strong lighting conditions? Yeah, that's also, you can use it with dark mode, then you can even use it with lots of lighting sources out there. And the third question is, what's the latency for motion capture? The latency from the sensor to our software and to the streaming platforms. The total latency is 100 milliseconds. It's 0.1 second. And do we have some other questions as well? Yep. We'd like to use your product for interactive art. Do visitors need to calibrate every time they use it? No. That's the reason why we show you the quick start features, which is the new feature. You don't have to worry about recalibrate every time when you enter. Just jump into the John and we automatically calibrate your body, and then you can just start doing a motion capture. So that's why these days, this small movement tracing is even used a lot for interactive art in commercial area, like common area. There comes some live questions. How about if the performer is rolling on the floor? Rolling on the floor, let me show you how it works. Is Movin Studio still works? Not really? What? You need some time? Okay, we will show you. Please be there. And does a single LiDAR unit handle two performers grabbing, occluding each other, or are multiple units required? For two people, today we showcase only one person tracking motion, but thanks to you, you ask a right questions. We are preparing to capture two people within this year with one single device. So till maybe this winter, one single device can handle two different people. Yep, and to do the demo, I need to get rid of this one, okay. And there's one another questions. What are the situations where you would not recommend using movement tracing? Not recommend? Not recommend. Maybe if there's really strong lights right behind you. In that case, you cannot use your finger movements. We cannot track your fingers that much. But actually, when we met lots of our clients, they are super big fans of our finger features. So if you want to use movement tracing, I really recommend you to use it without some lights on your backside. It's super great if the light is in front of you. Then that's super great. But if the light is behind you and that light is facing directly to movement tracing, in that case, that could be a trouble.
Ready? I think we are ready to
Okay.
roll it out.
Yeah. Camera, could you please move a little bit over this side so I can show our client? Okay, DK will help me with this one. Okay, DK, get in. DK is getting in. Yep. Yeah, he needs to do calibrate again. Okay, DK is calibrating. And DK rolling on the ground. Yeah, I should say that it's not like 100% good, but could you please show more? Yeah, that's so sure. Yeah, about this much.
Oh.
Yeah, and there comes some other questions as well. Would it be possible later on to position the movement directly on the floor or elevated? Oh, that's also great questions. Actually, for now, we cannot handle the elevated kind of condition, but these days we are developing movement tracing for data acquisition for humanoid robotics. We are developing these features. So pretty soon you can even use it on the table or on the higher position or on the lower position. Yeah, it looks good. And would the LED wall count as strong lights behind? Not really. Not really. Actually, we tested a lot with LED walls in virtual production studios. it works pretty well. What I mentioned, the strong light is, let's say, right now we have lights in front of our stage. What if these kinds of strong lights is installed on the backside of our truss? In that case, that matters.
Jody, I
Yep,
think it is almost the time.
Yeah, I think we are almost out of time. And I think I replied almost everybody's questions. Yep, so me again. So, yep, this is it for our move-ins part, the first 45 minutes of our live demo. I hope you guys enjoy it. And please keep an eye on our promotion. And from now on, we will invite our wonderful 3 experts from all over the world. Thank you so much, guys, and see you later. Thank you. Hello, Harvey. Harvey, can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. In that case,
Yes,
welcome
now it's
everybody.
your time.
Glad to be here with Movin, doing this small 15-minute presentation talking about some of the stuff that we actually did when it comes to our shot that was just released a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to talk a little quickly about how we built this. It was mostly myself and another fellow friend of mine called Emilio that we built it. We're both game developers. My name is Harvey Newman. We've been working in development for 20 plus years, Emilio 30 plus years, and we kind of got together to build this with Movin. The whole idea here is very much about finding out how much quicker can we actually capture this in comparison to our usual pipeline that we have in games. We normally go to big studios with 30 cameras and lots of stuff, pay a lot of money for this. And for us, it was very important to actually iterate fast and capture quickly. So what we've done is very much about, we started with the capture, then we obviously went clean up the raw data, did a rig actually for this, specifically for this. We got an environment, put it all together, put it in Unreal, and then cut a small trailer that we did. So this is basically the journey to get there. So the capture was very much us renting a place. It was not a very big place, but it was enough for us to actually get some good mocap. So what we have done very much, I'll show you here, is me acting the fool in a small place, trying to actually act like a soldier, which I'm very far off. And we basically took a gun with Movin, set it up on a table, super quickly, and then started shooting. Now, it was also one of my first times kind of shooting at this scale with Movin, and he actually did incredibly well for the space that we had and how much time we had, because I think we scheduled the place for, I think it was a couple of hours, and we ended up doing it in 45 minutes because it's so quickly. So we basically picked up on one of the clips that we had here, and we decided to kind of put it in Maya. Now, we faced a few problems when it comes to this light behind us, mainly because we were not aware. Once again, it's brand new, but the light kind of started intersecting with a little bit of the arms and stuff. Nothing major, but it was some lessons learned for next time. So what we got as a result was very much this. This is the clip that we selected for the shoot, and you can see here that a couple of things from an experience perspective. The context of the feet are way better than what I would have expected, which is normally the feet and the hips are the things that you spend most time animating and cleaning up. And the fact that this bit here is actually super solid, actually is actually saying that but the fact that this bit here is actually super solid, it actually helps a ton for animators for us to actually go through. Now the arms, as you can see here, there's a little bit of a flip, and this it was a cause of the light behind and me kind of like crossing across the body and stuff. But once again, nothing major. Both Emilio and I experienced animators, so we saw it and we were like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. So this is basically what we did at the volume per se. And then we actually went ahead and started cleaning it up. Now, we needed a rig to clean up this, so we started creating this rig. This was something that actually took, you know, a good week or so, because we only had about a couple of weeks to do it, and we spent most of the time doing the rig. But once we actually had the data, we realized that it was way better than expected. So we're like, let's just focus on environment, rigging, and making sure that this looks really, really good. So basically, we built this rig. And then we also had an environment, and the environment was actually given to us by a company called Kitbash 3D, like good friends of ours. And they give us an environment that is actually really, really cool. And I'll show you here some shots as well of the things that we actually had in Unreal. And this is basically my side of things, of like putting it in Unreal, making sure the lighting is correct, and the environment itself, because it's already so well lit and so well put together, it's kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting. We still had to animate this truck and getting some movement in there, because otherwise it looks very static. But overall, both Emilio and I were like, you know what, this actually is going to work out fine. So this is basically what we had to work with. Now, a big important thing here is that we had to find an angle amongst all this amazing environment that actually like looked good. So we went ahead and just started doing that for the environment. And then we started kind of like iterating with the environment. We brought the environment into Maya. We had it in Unreal. We had to bring it into Maya. And because of that, we actually started going into like, you know, quick process of actually going into Maya, going into Unreal and seeing what worked. The environment was way too heavy for us when it comes to the Maya scenes. But this is basically some of the things that we were doing behind the scenes, just so you guys can see some of the production side of Maya, which is basically setting up the camera, checking the environment, finding the angle, all of the things that I just mentioned here, and then also adding some environmental fog, the things that make things cinematic, basically, for anybody out there that is actually looking at this, and also adding Nubian in to make sure that he looks good. His textures were not up to par. We had to do some texture work as well. It doesn't take too long. And then is the opposite side, which is the Unreal side. So how does it look in Unreal? Once again, you can see here that it looks quite mute. But we had a skeletal rig in Unreal. We had a rig in Maya. We just basically had to do a lighting pass animation and then making sure that it all comes together in the end. So we set out to do that. So when we actually did the pass that we had when it comes to the progress, this is some of the stuff that we actually saw when it kind of brought it all together. So you can see here we have a camera that is temp, not final whatsoever, but we had to basically make sure that, you know, it looked good. And we can see that it has a lot of potential. Mocap is still not cleaned up. You still see the problems, but we can see that there's potential. We quickly animated the truck here on the background, and then went over to actually creating some more environmental pass here for this as well, which basically, you know, didn't take too long just to make sure that it looks good. We can mimic it in Unreal as well. A few more passes, adding things like that. Apologies if you can hear the music. Emilio likes metal music a lot. What do we had here? We had here like a final camera and texture pass right here. Right, so this is basically the textures in Maya, cleaned up, ready to go. And here you can start to see that the animation is cleaned up. It's still not the final pass, but the animation is cleaned up. There's some, like, you know, some physics as well going on. And now it's just a question of actually adding it to game and making it look good. A few things to miss as well. Now let's go into the Unreal import, because now we're starting to kind of like cook, starting to actually feel good, and things starting to look good together. We added a sequencer for all those that are familiar in Unreal, a bunch of different things, the environment, the characters, the animations, all of it in a sequencer timeline. We realized that a few things that we had in Maya needed to actually be like, you know, we don't need to do an SFX pass because this is solid, and obviously it's just a laser. It's not solid like this. And then finally the animation in the engine, right? So now that it's all cleaned up, how does it look bare bones in engine? And it was looking pretty good, still solid. So time to actually kind of like start to add it all together in engine as we go through. And you can see here with the sequencer how it looks. Now this is without the beauty pass, without all the fogs and the lighting and effects and things like that, but you can start to see that it's coming together here. Now a quick look at the lighting pass that we did. This is basically setting up the pass, going back and forth a bunch, making sure we have depth of field in the pass as well, things like that. We also did something curious for you guys to know as well. We actually had to do a quick blueprint pass on the lighting to make sure that it looked a certain way, just so you understand that there is some logic there as well. It's not just looks. And then also just before we actually wrap up, crashes, because no production is actually proper without a crash in problematic situations. So Emilio and I had to go back and forth a bunch to solve this because we couldn't make it work, and it was a bit of a sweat. Okay, so as you can see here, there's a bunch of different things that we added, such as physics and stuff, but what you most likely, I think people don't really appreciate, is how fast this whole thing was because of the camera, because of moving. I was just talking offline with Sean, which probably going next here, and I think we all kind of agree that normally when you go into a big production with lots of cameras and you have to hire actors and put on suits and calibrate like the volumes and stuff, it takes a long time. And it takes away a little bit from the fun as well, but also is all about money and about how long things take to actually get it to this standard as fast as you possibly can, because it costs time, costs money. So this was a joy to actually use for us, just having a Pelican case with a move-in, going to a place, taking less time that we thought, which normally is the opposite, and basically just plugging a couple of cables, Ethernet, power, get going, capture a bunch of stuff, see if it works, and then get going. It was incredible. So this also allowed us to kind of reshoot a bunch of stuff if we needed to. I remember perfectly speaking with Emilio about the fact that if we needed to shoot something else, we could quickly go in and do it again, and it just makes the whole process smooth. I loved using it. I think I'm a big proponent for it. The video is out on YouTube. The team knows about it, but that's about it. That's about the project with Movin, and I'm looking forward to using it again. Nice. Okay. Am I okay to go there, or do we have a Q&A as well?
Oh, thank you so much, Harvey, for your great talk. Do we have some questions coming up? If not, I think it's right on time, Harvey. Thank you so much for your talk. And Harvey is a great game director and animation specialist who made a super fantastic work with moving tracing. So we appreciate a lot, Harvey, for your time and your great work. Thank you so much. I think, Harvey, you are now free to go. And here comes our next speaker, which is Sean Herod he is a president of Form Studio and Forms Volumes. So he will show us how move-in LiDAR, move-in tracing being used to his interactive game installation. So let's give Sean a big applause.
Awesome. All right. I think I'm live now. First, just want to say happy 1-year anniversary to Movin. Movin Tracin is a very fun box that we've been using the last year. I'm with Form Studios. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We have studios here in Atlanta, Georgia, Beaufort, Georgia, and LA area. We do in-camera VFX with LED walls, motion capture, using a handful of different types of motion capture. We do camera robotics. And now lately been doing more with experiential activations as well. Another part of the business, we also install hardware. So we sell a lot of mocap systems to universities and to brands, just trying to find the best solution out there that really fits what a client is needing. On the motion capture side, we do a lot of like expos and shows with our partners. And so last year at SIGGRAPH 2025, we were with Puget Systems doing a markerless motion capture demo. It was our first demo that we've done with markerless motion capture. At that time, I think Movin had just came out. We actually met them at SIGGRAPH. They were showing off the Tracin box there. But to accomplish markerless motion capture at that time, we had 10 cameras in this trussing system, which I'll actually go and show off that system. This is from SIGGRAPH 2025. So you have 10 cameras in this array. We had 3 computers in a rack. We had 1 computer running Unreal Engine. We had 1 computer running our mocap solver, another computer that was like processing your video. Plus we had a lot of network equipment to basically make this activation pull off. And really the whole point of this activation was to help draw people to the booth and show them new technology, but try and make it just as seamless and just non-intrusive as possible. You know, when we have people doing an activation, we don't want it to feel techy. We don't want to have to put, hardware on them. We want them just to be able to step into something and just act in a very natural way. That can be if it's I know somebody in the comments were talking about doing something for like a museum for art installation, or doing something for a theme park, or for a welcome center. All these are very, with the Movin Tracin, it's very just quick to deploy because it's just a single box that we just put in there. So when we're talking about doing SIGGRAPH this year, we knew we wanted to make it a bit more, just, I guess, seamless again. And we know we don't want to have the excel that we had last year. So we were trying to figure out how small can we get this package as possible. And so for SIGGRAPH this year, we did something called the Robo Dojo. And basically the idea was we wanted people to fight these like rogue robots going at them in this dojo type setting. Still using markerless mocap where you just step in, fight them off. But again, we just want to see how small we make the footprint of our system. And so this year we actually ran our whole system off of just 1 single laptop, 1 single Movin Tracin. Down from last year we had 3 computers in a rack, networking, and 10 cameras. This year we had a single laptop and a single Movin Tracin box. And the results were phenomenal. One great thing was they talked about, I think it's the quick connect or I forget what quick action, where basically you can just step in the volume and start tracking you automatically. That was huge for us because what we did with this setup is we had these touch screens you'll see next to the LED wall. Somebody would come into the booth, they would type in their name and email, they pick their character, they hit start, it would basically reskin the MetaHuman Unreal Engine real quick, and they will start tracking their body out automatically. So really, we didn't have to touch the system at all once the system started running. They just started the system, it would end, another person came in, queued it up. There's really no like technical barriers to the system. I think we had 375 people come through this experience over like 2.5 days at SIGGRAPH. And what was amazing is that we didn't have a single crash or a single issue. It was just something where, again, the attendees could just step in, start themselves. It would track them, they leave the volume, and they would drop them out. And so I actually have a live demo of the system I was going to show off real quick. So I'm going to pop over to my computer. Going over to the Movin Studio real quick. I know they show this off a little bit, but I just really want to show how easy it is to set up Movin. Especially stuff like this. Like right now I'm just in my office space. And there's really no other markerless mocap system where you can get it running in a small space like this. And I got this running in probably about 10 minutes. I got my computer out, plugged up over Ethernet cable to my Movin Tracin, and we're up and going. So for the setup calibration process, let me go here to setup. All right, I'm gonna set my play area. Let's get past that. So you can basically see my room here. I already have my floor leveled out. but you can go in and change your play area. So if I try to go too wide, I'm now pushing into my wall. I have a little like bookshelf right here. So I'm gonna bring that in. And this is also, if I'm doing experience, this is also where I want to be able to like stop tracking the attendees. So typically, if it is a experiential activation, I want my play area to be pretty small. Just so I can step in a small section, we can capture, they can step out, then basically it stops tracking their body. Same thing, you can have ceiling height in here as well. But it's very just simple, clean UI, very simple and easy to get going. And then you can, this circle you see on the screen over here is basically where you typically capture them using the A pose. Again, that was kind of the issue and a big request that a lot of the users had was, if we want to do experiential activation, most attendees are going to go and step into one spot, do an A pose or T pose. Most of them don't know what an A or T pose is. And so we want a way that they can just step in very naturally and it just tracks them automatically. And so that was thankfully moving, implemented that feedback. And now we have this new where they just walk in and tracks them automatically. So once we have our play area set, we just hit save. And then we're going to go next. Okay. So the only thing that I'm really doing here is I am basically syncing this over to Unreal Engine Live. So on the streaming platform over here, you can see I'm already streaming. I'm going to swap over to my headphones so I can step into the capture volume real quick. All right, cool. So I'm going to step over out into my area. You can see me pop in. It tracks me automatically. What is impressive is how fast it does pick you up and starts tracking. And the fact that I'm able to do mocap in a small space like this, and it is a very small system. I just have my moving box on a tripod. What's really impressive is, from my understanding, we're using the LiDAR for a lot of the body, but then we're using the optical for the hands. What's crazy is how fast it tracks the hands and doesn't lose them, which is great when I'm doing these more fast-paced, like fighting type of activations. It never loses the tracking. And so then if I pop over to Unreal Engine, so here's my Unreal Engine scene. You can see I am feeding this in through Live Link, and then it just then retargets my metahuman. And you can see there's pretty much no delay in the system. And then this is the web GUI that we built for our activation. Again, we want to just be this very seamless experience with these touch screens at our booth where they can come in, they can type in their name, they can type in their email, they pick their character, and we basically live scan the character or the metahuman in Unreal Engine. So I'm going to go in here and type in Sean. I can type in my email. And so for this experience, we were actually recording. So we're recording Unreal Engine and also recording a BTS camera. And we had some software that we built that would basically capture all the video, add music, add branding. They gave them a nice like social clip they could share post experience. And that's kind of like the whole point when we do these experiences is when we want to, have a fun, engaging experience, have some type of lead capture, but then also have a handout at the end of it that they can then share on social, share this fun experience. So when I hit start, it is sending a cue over to Unreal Engine to start the experience. We have a little cinematic that starts off playing, just kind of cue up the experience. Then you have these wave of robots coming at you. We basically added context to kind of the legs and the arms. And we had it every 10 seconds, the wave starts like amplify. So you start getting more and more and more. You can do fun stuff. What's great about this, kind of just move any way you want. So you're not really restricted by movement. So we had people in experience just doing these crazy like tornadoes and stuff. You can kind of move as fast as you want. You can jump and kick. It was really fun to see all the different ways that people were fighting off these rogue robots. What's cool is we have this scoreboard system. So really made it competitive. Every day we're giving away prizes to the top winner. But it really was, I think the coolest part was just seeing how minimal our setup could be to build the system. I built most of this from my house, and there's no other scenario where I could actually build out a system like this in my house. I can't bring my Vicon or Opti system into my house and set it up. And so just how portable this is just phenomenal. The quality of the tracking is phenomenal. It really is a really, really cool system. So that's kind of my demo and how we're using it for experiences. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or if Movin has any questions, let me know. Be happy to answer anything. Oh, I see John Mocap is in the chat. What's up, John Mocap?
Thank you so much, Sean, for your precious time and great speech.
Thanks,
We were
Richard.
also in this year's SIGGRAPH, so we saw Sean's Form Studios booth. We and our all team members were tried Dojo Robo fight, and it was super fun. And then
The
their
fast
exhibition
punch.
had a lot of
Can
attractions
you also
among
track
lots of
that? I
SIGGRAPH
mean, yeah,
exhibition.
earlier I was showing how fast I can move my hands. I'll just go back to the Move in Studio side. Again, I mean, it tracks your hands very quickly. I honestly can't get to stop tracking my hands.
Yeah.
It is really impressive the speed at which it can track. I cannot get it to break and to lose tracking from me. And that's whether it's spinning. It really is really impressive.
Thank you so much, Sean, for showing us the speedy movements. Thank you so much, Sean, for your precious time today.
I am not really in bright light. It's kind of a cloudy day here. I have one slight light above me. Again, moving can kind of go in more the tech side of it. My understanding is it's because it's using LiDAR, is not as dependent on light, which is why I really recommend it for doing activations for something like at a museum, because a lot of those places don't really have optimal lighting. They're a bit more moody lighting, where a fully optical based system might have a really hard time tracking your body at that point, because of the LiDAR system, you can pretty much be in near darkness and you still get pretty good track. The hand tracking, you need light for the fingers and hands a bit more, but the body is pretty solid. We mainly work in Unreal Engine. David Stapp on my team, he is our Unreal Engine guy, guru. Have not worked in TouchDesigner yet, though. I got a few buddies that work in that, but I have not personally used it yet. Can you plug it into a land and stream mocap to more than one machine? That's a great question. You can go to a switch. I have had our tracing going into switch and then going to our computer. When you plug in the move and trace into the computer, you have to configure the IP address. I don't know if it just has to be on the same subnet as the move and tracing. Great question though for the moving team. Can you stream to more than one machine?
We can definitely stream more than one machine. If you add more live link to the Unreal Engine, then we are okay to stream motion data from various different moving tracing. Thank you for the question.
Awesome. I think that kind of wraps it up on my side. The moving team wants to take it over. Again, thank you all so much for having me on this. Thank you so much for creating this device. It really is a really fun device and just opens up a lot more opportunities just to capture motion capture very quickly and easily. One thing I would like to touch on real quick is, we do a lot of stuff with universities, and a lot of times we install a lot more bigger systems. But kind of the issue is when a student wants to create a quick project, it's hard for them to get fully suited up, marketed up, have somebody run a bigger system. And so a lot of times they might use something that's a bit more like inertia based. But a lot of the issues with inertia based systems is sometimes they're great, sometimes they struggle. Just depends on if there's a lot of stuff like interfering with the suits. And so we've heard a lot of complaints like, is there something in the middle? And so this is a box I really highly recommend to university platforms, just because it is something where the students can just quickly pull this out, pull out a laptop, actually start creating mocap with. That's been probably the biggest gap I've seen, is just how fast and easy you can shoot pretty high quality mocap with it.
Thank you so much, Sean, for your time. And thank you so much for the real
Cool.
feedback.
And that is it for me. Again, thank y'all. Happy first birthday to the moving team.
Thank you, Sean. Let's give Sean a big applause. Thank you so much, Sean.
Well, hi everyone. So this is a real pleasure. My name is Richard Thompson. I teach at the New Jersey Institute of Technology in New Jersey, obviously. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about all the different uses that I've used Movin for. So first of all, a little bit of background. I was in a previous career a professional actor for 17 years. I also wrote plays before I got into 3D animation. But there is a real direct line between acting, performing, and character animation. And particularly the use of motion capture, right? You think of all the actors that are doing motion capture. So just quick background, I worked in the industry in terms of animation, working on a show called Word World many years ago. I'm also sort of just do my own work, 3D art and 3D animation. But in terms of my creative practice at NJIT, sort of I would summarize it in three sort of bullet points, which are, my focus is on visual storytelling through economical design and authentic movement. And by authentic movement, I don't mean realistic movement necessarily. So it's bringing in some elements of the 12 principles of animation into the movement to make it actually feel more engaging, more immersive, right? And in that exploration, I found out, I have been exploring also the sort of the connection between sort of the historical clowning traditions and character animation, which go back a long, long ways. And then as an educator, I'm particularly interested in tools that provide sort of a democratization of education and provide greater access for creatives in general, whether it's students on a very tight budget or individuals like myself or smaller studios. I initially looked into sort of authenticity of movement with an animation that was really about a machine coming to life. And that was even before I even touched on any motion capture. And then when I got to NJIT, they had a very outdated Vicon system. I mean, it still works. But we also had expanded to 30 plus students per year needing to learn motion capture. And it was really underused because largely having to put students in suits, the hygiene aspect of washing the suits. So it's just a logistical issue. And then the calibration took forever. I then explored with, as you can see here, with inertia-based motion capture. Again, very solid, certain expense. And again, we're dealing with, even though it's a t-shirt and some straps, it's still a question of and the calibration, it's like the time. It might take weeks to get 30 plus students to record their movement in a way. So I then explored back in the spring of 2025, I explored an AI-driven motion capture platform, and I piloted it at NJIT to success. And economically, it's a pretty good method, but it's not in any way near as stable. There's a lot more jitter. There's a lot more cleanup. And it's just, much more complicated in terms of that. So I was definitely looking for something which would satisfy sort of three criteria. And so I broke it down into sort of the stability of the platform, the fidelity of how it, records the movement, and then, always with the balancing the cost of that, and then finding that sweet spot, which in many ways, if not completely, Movin covers. And I first came across Movin at SIGGRAPH conference back in the summer of 2025 in Vancouver. And I just decided to give one last tour of the exhibition floor there. And I came across the people from Movin, and I saw their demonstration, and I was impressed. And the main thing that I was particularly impressed with was, in comparison to what I'd just been working with, was again the fidelity, the stability, the lack of jitter, the cleanliness of the feet touching the ground. But most importantly, probably was the immediate visual feedback, which was terrific, which an AI platform that we had been using, you had to load up the video and it would take 50 minutes to an hour, and then you would get back in FBX. It was kind of hard to see the movement properly. And then it might be at that point you're going to have to re-record and that kind of thing and then reprocess. So this was wonderful because I could literally direct students and we could take a look at it. They could look at their movement right afterwards and decide whether they wanted to make changes. In my own work, I incorporated it into the production, which was already started on my next animation film, which was using a clown character in my continued exploration, an animation called King Carno. And here you can see doing everything wrong. I'm like at home and I'm totally backlit, as you can see, doing my dance. But you can see that even there, the fingers managed to do pretty well. And then let me just turn this down a sec. And then you see it portrayed in the animation, right? Work that would have taken a long, long time to keyframe animate, pose to pose, or whatever method you're using. So here is another bit that I recorded myself, and you'll see as it's transferred, obviously I make customization, and as you can see there, the character, the camera angle changes, right? There's intercuts with what's happening, but it's basically the same movement, and it was very easy to source, and then whatever cleaning up needed to be done could be done. So this animation, I wish I could show you the whole thing, but it's presently being considered by a lot of festivals still. So I'm just going to show you this. It's already been accepted at 20 festivals with 5 awards and 6 nominations. So I'm very excited about this, but I'm particularly excited with these improvements that were mentioned in the first 45 minutes of this event. It's just going to be fantastic to work on my next animation. Now, how did I bring this as an educator to the classroom? Well, a lot of the students who had already sort of moved on past the AI motion capture, so they actually had not had the motion capture, were actually pretty distraught that they had not had that opportunity. And so I created an elective in the fall of 25 called Digital Clowns that would enable students who had not had that opportunity to take my class. Now, the difference is that this was a class that met only 3 hours a week, as opposed to the previous motion capture class that was 9 hours a week. So I had to make adjustments. And in the meantime, I had got the Movin, and the Movin was quicker, more stabler, we could get immediate feedback. And so the students were able basically to do what I had done with the studio with 9 hours a week in 3 hours a week in the fall. And I do video series on Vimeo, and I'm going to have to make adjustments to this series because of the added elements that Movin has brought in. But here are some examples of student work. And I want just to be very clear that this is the very first time these students designed, modeled, rigged, textured, and animated biped characters. And then they used Movin's platform to create it. So I'm just going to, for the sake of time, you can actually see this video on Movin's website if you want. Obviously there's a focus on clowning here, and each student was able to do a different character and then transferred. But again, the students were able to create, again, this is the first time that they are ever doing this. They performed it themselves, so it's not a professional actor or a professional clown doing it. They did it themselves and got that practice and learned a lot about acting, and acting for animation and acting for motion capture. So for the space of time, I'm going to move on. So you got an idea of what these students did. Then in the spring, I went back to that studio class that meant 9 hours a week. And this time, instead of using the AI-driven platform, students used Movin's platform. And these animation highlights from the students' work, again, the first time they've ever gone through this entire workflow. This was shown as part of what's called SIGGRAPH's conference, faculty submitted student work. Okay, so I think you get an idea. Again, this is also before, this is using Movin before many of the sort of improvements that were discussed earlier on during this entire presentation. Okay, so I'm going to just, for sake of time. Now, I also worked in a sort of collaborated with our theater and technical arts department on their musical in the spring. And I had two students, Daria Kozlenko and Giovanni Croco, who did an independent study with me. And really it was, they did it. It was their leadership on this. They really took leadership. They created characters. Let me just quickly start this playing. And, you know, you've seen a fair amount of this today. But this is actually one of the actors who was going to be in the musical, like actually presenting some of the, one of the, let me just turn this down again. Presenting some of the actual dance moves that they were going to then do. And then what happened is that the characters that my students created and rigged and then brought into Unreal Engine were then projected onto a backdrop screen during the musical. And there was a dancer on the front of the stage who performed the CG characters, which is really kind of wonderful. And here's one of my colleagues doing a fantastic dance. But again, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip to the next slide, but you get a sense of how terrific this platform can be. So the improvements go way beyond this very cursory list that I've put here. But for me, you know, when I was exploring 3.0 just recently, I did notice the added joints in the spine and particularly in the neck, which makes, you know, adds to the fluidity of the movement. And some of the, you know, I can't do it justice because the presentation at the beginning of this really showed the subtle movement that it can now take, which previously was, you know, a little bit more limited. And then obviously already been demonstrated the easier step in calibration. This is particularly important for people working alone, like myself sometimes. And then the hands and fingers, good to note about the lighting from now on for me. So that's great. Now, just because they asked me to do this, I'm going to talk a little, you know, just very briefly. So I am now working on a couple of different animation shorts, but one of them is, again, with the sort of clown motif, and it's called Legacy, but it's going to be dealing with two characters. So I'm actually looking forward to whenever it rolls out that we can have two performers at the same time, which would be wonderful. So I'm going to be creating this much more sort of even more complex story. And I'm so looking forward to the fluidity of the movement that can now be captured. The other thing that I am now going to plan to go back to is a much more expansive animation short called La Piazza that I began several years ago, but it required and it requires several characters to be animated. And really, it's a project that's too much for one person, or at least it was. And now I'm excited to return to this project now that I have the ability to capture the movement quickly and source it onto the characters in a way that doesn't require, you know, too much cleanup, other than maybe adding exaggeration and anticipation in terms of animation purposes. And also, I will be obviously continuing to use this platform as an educator, you know, teaching my students. If anyone, you know, wants to reach out to me and ask me any questions, this is the way to contact me. But otherwise, thank you, Movin, and keep up the great work.
Thank you all, Harvey, Sean, and Richard, for your great talks. I'm so grateful that this amazing, incredible people use moving tracing really, really well. Once again, appreciate it a lot. And more than anything, before we shut down everything, more than anything, I'd like to say a great thank you to all of our Movin members who are running all the way this journey with me. So let's give a big applause to our Movin members. Thank you so much. And finally, right now here in Korea, it's 3:30 a.m. in the morning. I also want to really thank you to Pitch Media team who helped us do this live today. Let's give a final big applause to Pitch Media team. Thank you so much. Okay, this is it for Movin Tracing's 1-year-old birthday party. So I hope you guys enjoy it and see you soon again pretty soon. Bye bye. Thank you.